This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
Welcome, everybody, to the Rockstar Dad Show, right here on Adobe Radio or wherever you listen to podcasts. And guys, man, we've been on tour. It's been busy, and I want to talk about all that. But right now, old people problems.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's just so stupid how often these little things like this happen, and then it's just a reminder.
Do you need me to come over and help you find the remote?
Oh, don't get me started on the remote, man. Don't get me started on the remote, because now the kid loses it as much as the wife now. And so, like back in the day, when you had like all these different components and shit, we had this remote that was so large, you couldn't lose it. I mean, even if you lost it, like you look for it for a minute and then, because really there's just no place to put it. So now we're down to just like the regular Amazon remote, right? So it's a tiny little thing.
Yeah, it can go anywhere.
And that thing could go in it. Plus the dog eats them. And so now we just have like 4 of them floating around, and I'll be like, where's the remote? And my child or my wife will go, oh, there's got to be one around here somewhere. And I'm just like, why can't? And every time I have to look for it, I say, if you just take this and just put it on the table after you're done with it, then that way, whoever would like to use it next, including you, can just go up there and grab it and then watch whatever program they'd like to watch.
That way, the answer to the question, where's the remote, is on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
Right where it goes. Right.
Yeah. I've actually, because I've got members in my household too that will just put it in their hand and walk off and then just set it somewhere.
Right.
And I literally have found the remote in the refrigerator before.
Holy shit. I mean, so that's like that's like the time I threw my keys away at the racetrack. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just sort of like get in this zone and your brain is just an autopilot. And what happened was I was cleaning out the car, and there was some trash in there, and I just took whatever was in my hands and threw it in the trash. And then I couldn't find my fucking keys. And so I had thrown my keys in the trash can at the gas station, and man, it was so lucky. I mean, like it was freshly emptied, and like, how like the bag at first won't let everything fall all the way down.
Right. Yeah.
And so I literally just reached back in there and got them, and it was like in my trash. So it didn't gross me out and stuff. Like it wasn't the whole like families like digging in the trash at the restaurant for the retainer, which is insane, Gary, because that particular trope, is in Parenthood, the movie or whatever. But like, I bet I know 10 people that's happened to.
Yeah. There's a reason they put that in the movie, right?
Right. Yeah. Which, I mean, I just can't imagine my parents. I think it would bother them that they, like my mom, that she wouldn't have had that to hold over me, to be like, had I never, but I never lost a retainer because I was terrified of just the guilt, I think.
And you probably also just put it on the coffee table, right?
I put it in the fucking case where it goes.
Yeah.
I got it out, brushed it when I was supposed to, stuck it in my mouth when I was supposed to,
No one found your retainer in the refrigerator.
Nope, not even once. Not even once. No.
All right, we got off track. What's going on with the old people problem?
This is way worse because it's so dumb. And it's just, so I have prescription sunglasses because I haven't worn sunglasses for years. Like since I got my glasses, which most people that follow me on social media probably don't even remember like when I didn't wear glasses all the time, right? I mean, for the last several years, I just wear glasses. And so I finally was just like, man, I am getting older and also, one of the reasons you want to wear sunglasses so you're not wrinkling up your eyes all the time, and so like you're not gonna get these wrinkles in your eyes and shit, right? And mine really wasn't a vanity thing. It was just more like, okay, that sort of did play into it, Gary. But but I really was like, man, why the fuck don't I just get some prescription sunglasses, and then that way I can wear them at the pool and when I drive, and like that'll be when I do that. So anyway, I have this pair, and they sit in the van. And by the way, I just realized last night, Gary, that for the first time in my life, actually, this is crazy if you think about it. The band van is my actual vehicle. Like through all the years that Bowling for Soup was in the van, 9 years, and then we still had one for like 5.
Yeah.
I always had a car or, something of my own to drive. I never drove the band van as my vehicle.
Yeah.
And it takes like being like in this Grammy nominated band that's just like going gangbusters right now and starting this little country thing on the side to be just like, yeah, I guess I just don't have a car anymore. But I didn't realize that till I literally realized that. So anyway, I've got this little place in my van where I keep the sunglasses, and when I get in, I switch them out. But I fucking forget all the time when I get out of the van to trade back. Now that poses 2 problems. First of all, it happened to me in the post office yesterday. Yes, I'm an old person. I went to the actual post office. And
do you need to like renew your passport or something?
No, I had some letters to send to the IRS.
Oh yeah.
And I would normally take them to the UPS store, but I was actually out in Dallas. And it was just easier to go to the post office. So I went to the post office, and I realized when I went in there, I'm just like in there with sunglasses on, right? And it takes a while to realize it, and then so you sort of look like a douche. But the thing that's happening to me right this minute is I forgot to switch them out. And so I wanted to try and be on time, to meet with you. And I had my spares were just kind of actually in the case where I keep them. And I went
You just went right to him.
I went right to him, got him out of the case, and put him on my face, right? But man, it's like two prescriptions ago. And then I get in here and I'm trying to do shit. And I am like having to like lift my glasses up and look, because they're progressives. Like, so to read, it's like the bottom of my glasses,
Yeah.
And so just getting this session set up in here. And so like looking at you right now, it's just blurry as hell. And
you're missing out.
It's so frustrating, that like, oh, it's frustrating. This whole getting old thing, just like the little things like that. Just, it's so minor, it's like I can see, I just can't see that, I can't see the microwave clock from all the way across the house anymore. Just little shit. Like
I feel you. I've been in like eyeglass hell for the past couple of months. Like I need new ones. I need a new prescription, but I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
And so like I still sometimes wear mine, but then I just get frustrated. I've got the progressives also.
Yeah.
But like they're just not right. And so then I'm like, fuck it, I'm not wearing these. And then I go somewhere without them, and I'm like, damn it, I need them like to read the menu or whatever. Like I need them for this. And what I've found myself doing is just actually taking those little cheap readers around,
right?
Which aren't good. I mean, I actually need glasses for other things, but it's like I'm just frustrated, and I haven't gone to the doctor to get the new prescription. So it's like that's just my base level of where I am right now.
That's an older man thing. You're doing an older man thing, because that's what fucking both of my father-in-laws do. Neither of my father-in-laws will go get glasses. They both need them.
Yeah.
So bad. And like every time I see Dennis, I'll be like, oh, did you finally get glasses? No, these are just another pair of these readers or whatever. They just fucking just keep getting readers. Right. And that's what originally what Mark, so Casey has 2 dads, her biological father, Mark, and her stepdad, Dennis, who, they're both in our lives. But Mark was just like, yeah, man, you don't need to go get glasses. You just go get these readers. And I did that for a while. And I'm just like, this is more of a pain in the ass. Keeping up with these things and like taking them on and putting them off and taking them on and putting them off is such a fucking pain in the ass.
100%. I hate it. We've just been in and out of town in the past few months that I haven't gone to the doctor yet.
Yeah. And it's a whole thing, right? Because you have to you have to make sure that your insurance goes there and, you know, all of that stuff. And then like, and even the glasses part, like you can't buy your, I mean, you can, I mean, I tried to buy my glasses at the optometrist or whatever. Is that where you go? Optometrist?
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, fucking shit. Like, listen, I mean, I admit, I don't know how much a case of beer costs. But fuck, I'm not paying $750 for fucking glasses. Like that's not happening. That I was just like, whoa, what? And so, you know, you have to get the thing and then you have to come and you have to buy them online or you have to go to America's Best or whatever, you know. So I get all mine online. But you know, anyway, these are my backups. And you know what sucks? My backups, fucking Ray-Bans. These were not cheap.
Yeah.
And I can't see anything.
And how old are those? Like a year, 2 years?
These are 2 years old.
Okay, yeah.
And they're worthless. They're fucking worthless. I mean, I actually have a stack of these, right? Because I get work glasses too, which I don't have any for this prescription, but the work glasses are awesome because you can make it to where like I want the thing that's where I can read the whole lens, but like only 3 feet away. And so you put them on and you can see your computer and I can see my laptop. I can see my Pro Tools computer and everything perfect. But I do the same thing. I forget I have those on and then I start driving and then I'm just like, man, everything looks really fucking weird. You know, like, and then I realize it and then I'm like, shit. So then, and I can drive without glasses. That's just it. Like the top of my glasses doesn't do anything, which is why I can't see you right now.
Yeah.
Because this is close up, the computer's close up to my face, and the top of these glasses, it's very little of anything. But I can see you perfect if I look up and then look down at you. But we do this on video, and I don't want to look like this the whole time.
Yeah, that's too much work to be looking up and down and all around, and then, you know, it's going to make me dizzy.
It's so funny though that how, you know, I'm not saying you because you've had glasses longer than I have. As far as like, you know, like you've always had your thing that you could put on your reading and all of that.
Yeah.
And but you know, for me, as soon as I got them, I was just like, fuck that, man. I'm not doing the thing where I just have to have them for this or, you know, like, because a lot of people will do that. They're like, oh, I have glasses, but I don't have to wear them if I do this, you know. And I'm like, what a pain in the ass. I was just like, the guy was just like, yeah, you need glasses. I just have glasses now. You know, to me, like, fuck it. And you know what's funny is it's like when you first get glasses, even as an adult, or for me anyway, it's almost like when you got new shoes as a kid, like every room you walk into, you're just thinking, wonder if everybody's gonna notice my new shoes. And so I'd walk into places and be like, yeah, I've got glasses on. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I wonder if anybody's going to say anything, you know, and nobody gives a fuck, you know, but you're just self-conscious about it, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if that's like a couple of different things going on there. Like one is everyone's involved in their own shit, right? Like,
right. Sure.
You know, it's the thing, like when girls get, when people get engaged and the girl has like their new engagement ring, like their friends notice that shit, but the rest of the world, you know, like if they go to the place of work, some of the girls are going to notice it. Not everyone's noticing that shit, right? But they feel like everyone's looking at them. Same thing, like when someone gets pregnant and they're like, well, I'm going to go out, but I'm just going to have water and everyone's going to know.
Yeah.
No one notices because everyone's so self-involved and paying attention to their own shit, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's part of it. But then the other thing was like at that time, whenever you got yours, it was kind of at the tail end of that period where a bunch of people are just wearing fake glasses.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I went through that phase. I mean, we actually just talked about this. You're the only person in Bowling for Soup, including our manager at the time, that didn't go through a fake glasses phase.
Yeah. So, I mean, some people may have just been like, he's got glasses again, or, he's doing the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that could, but man, girls do. They're all up in each other's shit all the time. They just don't. It is the wildest thing. Like how they, I mean, it's just like, they notice every little thing about each other, and then they ask each other all these questions and shit. And it's like, man, I don't even remember the last time I had an argument with a friend because they fucking wanted to wear the same outfit as me. Like I don't, it's like, hey, are we both going to wear Punk Rock Saves Live shirts today? Like I don't fucking care. I mean, we'd show up and be like, hey, Punk Rock Saves Lives friends, what are y'all doing? Wearing Punk Rock Saves Live shirts?
Yeah. The questions thing is just insane, though. I mean, it's cliche, but it's insane. I'll come home and be like, I saw Jaret. Well, is Casey going on the next run? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Everett coming to the thing this week? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Jaret going to go to do this? I don't know. What'd y'all talk about?
Yeah.
Other stuff.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's so true, man. It's oh man, goodness. Girls are funny, man. They really are. But they make the world go round somehow. I don't know how they do it because they're unorganized, most of you out there. I know some of you are organized, and that's fine, but holy shit, man. Oh, anyway, I need a haircut. And that reminded me.
All right. Well, we are about to play the state fair and go back out on tour. So, haircuts are due.
Got to do it. Yeah. The Texas State Fair will be tomorrow. Actually, we're playing the Texas State Fair, and it's always a fun time. I laugh because there's so many jokes that go around about bands that, like, when you get to that point where you're playing state fairs and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the joke is on everybody else. They are the most cush, greatest gigs of all time.
Well, I mean, there is a period where we were doing a bunch of county and state fairs, right? We would like to be back there where we're doing that.
100%.
But I feel like the Texas State Fair is a different thing, or the State Fair of Texas. It's a different thing. Like, that's a beast of its own.
It's a worldwide known thing. And not just because of the corn dog, which, by the way, my father-in-law makes all of the Franks, the wieners for Fletcher's. And it is unfucking believable how much they do. Like, they do, I think it's like 70,000 pounds a week. And it ends up being 500,000 pounds of hot dogs. And they deliver these things 10,000 pounds at a time. And they just go to this refrigerated truck that's on site. And it's just this rotating thing where they keep, rotating in and out the things. And then I guess each of those Fletchers, or they probably have a guy, right? Like Dan the Waterman from Warped Tour.
Yeah.
He probably goes in there and he loads a bunch of wieners on the back of one of those rascals. What are those things called? Like hunter
Gators or something.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
There's a bunch of different names. I don't know. Mule. I don't know.
Yeah. Remember we got to ride in one at a show recently. And I was just like, I get it.
Yeah.
these things are great.
I bet there's a stat for the fair though. Like, how bands or, like the NFL or organizations talk like, oh, we're doing $20 a head in merchandise or this, right?
Yeah.
I bet at the fair, of course they know like as what they're doing in concessions, but I bet there's somewhere like, yeah, we're doing 3 corn dogs a head today.
Yeah, you're so right, man. And what's funny is that it's not just so if we lost anybody, Fletcher's is like the flagship corny dog of the state fair, and apparently the great grandpa invented the corny dog, right? So and it's not a corn dog, it's a corny dog, right? And it's really cool actually because it's all done here. The Texas State the State Fair of Texas is their big thing. They have a truck. They've had freestanding restaurants in the past. They had 2 in Wichita Falls, one in the mall and one on the main square of the city for a while. But it's all sourced locally too. So they actually so when you taste this, it's like less sweet and more like cornbread And because in Denton, which Bowling for Soup calls home, is Morrison's, which is a plant that makes cornbread. Their thing is they make a thing called a corn kit, and it's just this envelope. It looks like spices, or like packaged gravy, or you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking.
Yeah, it's like a packet.
Right. Yeah, a packet. And so, and in that you just add the shit and you got cornbread. And then they have one called the pan kit, and you do it, and then that's how they make pancakes. Anyway, to this day, it's still, they're sourcing those hot dogs locally here at my father-in-law's spot. And they're sourcing the cornbread meal or whatever the fuck it is from Morrison's here or whatever. And then they go and they sell 500,000 pounds of, and I'm not exaggerating, of corn dog, of wieners. But that's only one thing. There's other places that have corn dogs, in the fair, but I think you got to get a Fletcher's when you go, right? I mean,
100%.
It's like, I don't know, man. There's other things that are like this in the world where like you got to at least get that brand. There's just no, because that's what the Texas State Fair is, man. Gosh, it's fun. It's crowded.
I'm having a hard time thinking like what the brand would be, because I'm like, okay, you go to Philly, you get a cheesesteak, right? Like,
yeah, there's like 4.
You go to Maine, you get a lobster, but like, well, shit, what's that? Like, I can't think of another brand thing that would be like
it
that.
Has to be a thing, right? Like where when you go to certain city, you have to get like like the beignets in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
You go, if you're gonna you can get beignets anywhere in New Orleans, anywhere, but you want to go and get those ones. What are they called?
I can't think of it right now, but I know what you're talking about. It's
Mondo or something.
Dumond or something. Cafe Dumond.
Cafe Dumont. You want to get those. And the thing is, what's funny about that one is, aren't there like 2, but you want to go to the one, right?
I think that's right.
2 Cafe Dumonts, but it's like that. It's like when you go to the state fair, you want to make sure that you get like this kind of thing. And some people swear by, like, if you go to New York, you got to get Ray's Pizza, and they don't realize that none of the Rays are in cahoots. They're all different. All different dudes named Ray.
Original Tony's original.
Yeah, there's a documentary about that I saw a long time ago, where they try and trace back the Joe's thing. Like they try to figure out like where the original Joe's Pizzeria is, and and everybody's got their theory. And we got to take a quick break. It's good to be back. I'm not going to promise anymore that we're going to do these from the road. We're going to keep trying, but quite frankly, our days are busy, and we're going to talk about that when we come back with more Rockstar Dad Show. But for now, y'all listen to this. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show right here on Adobe Radio every Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that means we're drive time in California now, bro. We did it. In LA, we're freaking drive time.
I've been to LA, and I think all day long is drive time, isn't it? Like,
man, you just almost made me spit my tea. The only reason I didn't is I predicted what you were going to say right when you started to say it. And I took a deep breath and I held it in, and I didn't fucking spit it out. But man, you're so right.
Dude, it's getting to be like that here where we live, though. Tyler's school is not the closest to us now. Like on a normal day, like if I just get in the car and drive there right now at 12:45 in the afternoon, it would take me 12 minutes to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
But he has football in the morning on some days, and that's 6:30. Drive straight there. 10-minute drive at that, 6:30 in the morning. But the days where he has to be there at 8:30 and we're in like people going to work traffic.
Yeah.
It took me 40 minutes to get him to school the other day.
Yeah, I think Little Elm and is just bad. Like now, I mean, because you have just those main roads are just so important. I mean, 423 is becoming another fucking 380 to me. Like I want to avoid it like the plague.
100%. Same with El Dorado. All those roads, like they've overpopulated for the size of the roads, and they're the way that it is, like the town's built around the lake, so you have to take these roads.
Yep.
And everyone has to take them. It's just way too crowded. It's insane.
Yeah, and it's to get certain places, you've got to get there, but there's ways to avoid it, but not you. You're in the heart of it. So it's like where I used to live in Highland Village, like to get out of there is a nightmare.
Well, we did find just in the past couple of days, we found like a new route where it cuts out like half of it, you know? So like it's going through a couple of neighborhoods and this and that, but like we're missing the majority of the traffic now, but it's ridiculous.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is if I'm not in a hurry, I don't really mind traffic because I'm listening to whatever I want to listen to, and like driving is my quiet time. It's my me time.
I get the idea of that. I like driving. Let's go drive, from here to Denver. Doesn't matter. I enjoy it. Car time, me time, listen to your podcast, get your thoughts in your head cleared out, all that shit, right? I hate traffic. Like, sitting a 12-minute drive that now takes 40 minutes, even if I'm not in a hurry and I'm like, I got plenty of time. It's like this competitive thing. It's like, I want to get in front of that guy. I don't know. Even if I'm not in a hurry, I just can't stand the sitting still and stopping and going and all that.
I'm with you. I think, I see what you're saying, because at any rate, you'd rather be moving. Like if it was the same amount of time, but you were moving the whole time, you'd rather drive that. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, whenever we drive from here to Wichita Falls, I'll take the Denton loop around Denton.
Oh, yeah.
It's a longer distance, but I don't want to drive University through Denton.
Man, I realize this is a localized conversation.
Yeah, 100%. But I'll drive a longer distance to be moving.
But yeah, that's the thing is now for me, if I'm going to Wichita Falls, I don't even go through. I mean, I go north here, and it takes me through Aubrey and that's the quickest way anyway. Guys, traffic, I mean, I'll tell you,
this is not the Rockstar Dad Show. This is the old man show, because we've been talking about eyeglasses and now traffic.
Oh shit, weather too, man. There's a hurricane, and I checked on my friends, and seems like or at least made sure that everybody was posting, that they were all right. Seems like Kelly and Lewis are all right, but they're in Tampa, and there's I hope everybody is okay down there. Of course, by the time you guys hear this, we'll be hearing about the aftermath. But when we're taping this, it's just Friday, so things just kind of went crazy. But I really brought the room down there with this hurricane thing. Man, I should have really. It's New Orleans. That's what reminded me of it. Was the hurricanes there those can kill somebody, but in a different way. And
so can the beignets.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah, in a totally different way. But man, tour was great. We've gotten ourselves on this really good regiment of, the band and Dave, after load in, or after the guys start loading in, we get up and have a cup of coffee, and we go to our driver's hotel, use the gym, then hit the pool, and or both, depending on what our workout regimen is that day. Have some coffee there at the hotel, and then order lunch, head back, do VIP, play the show, repeat. And it has really, really changed shit for me. Like, I feel fucking awesome. And I went and got blood work yesterday, and like everything is better. And it's just like, it's funny because I can jokingly say, man, we should have been doing this all along. I know that we wouldn't have done that because we're just, we're just now to that point of like, all right, guys, we don't need to fucking rage until 5-6 a.m. in the morning, and it took us a little longer than a lot of other bands, but quite frankly, I'm happy with the journey, and I'm stoked about where we're at. But for the first time in band history, 2 tours in a row now, so we can honestly say that it's a habit.
Right.
We actually get up and go and get moving and go to the gym, and
I think that like it's multifaceted on the benefits of this though. And I mean, I'm sure we probably haven't seen all the benefits yet, but like part of it is just there's days where we don't want to go do it, and we'll go do it, and then afterwards we're all just like, man, I'm glad we did that. I feel better. Like it clears your head. You know, it's just, you feel better afterwards for many reasons. But it also just breaks up the monotony of the just sitting around all day with nothing to do and trying to find something that maybe I'll walk over here, this or that. You know, like it gives the day a schedule and a flow and a routine, and that just makes the Groundhog's Day of the tour move so much quicker.
I mean, it certainly has a flow, and the days go by real quick. You know, if it's a day where, so like, we can essentially get up at, you know, sometime I'd say the earliest 10 for me anyway, and then, you know, at the latest 12:30, and you know, you're wanting to be in the gym by 1:30, and you're wanting to be starting to do coffee and think about lunch by 3:30, and then, you know, you're back, and then if you're going to shower, you got to squeeze that in. VIPs at 6:30 or 5:30, doors at 6:30. You know, like the day goes real quick, and so that's one thing that's taken a little bit to get used to, is that there's sort of a lack of some of that like downtime that you used to be able to count on. You know, of just like, oh man, it's cool. I'm gonna use this hour and be like super lazy. Like that just sort of isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But I agree with you mentally. You know, I mean, here's the thing. None of us are stupid, you know, and the truth of the matter is I've been in shape before. And that's why whenever I first put out on social media, you know, hey, I'm going to start trying to lose a few pounds, but my main thing is I just want to feel better and all that, you know. But I was like, don't start telling me what to do. You know, like that's the last thing that I need, is just other fat people, you know, or people who have never fucking had to be fat in their life, you know, for whether it's by work or metabolism, whatever. None of that matters to me. I don't need all this advice. That's discouraging to me. Like, I just like be happy for me, you know, or don't. But, you know, like I already just told you I'm doing something. So don't come to me and start telling me like, well, you got to cut it back on this, or don't listen to the keto thing and blah, 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 and yada, yada. It's just like, man, it might as well be religion at that point. You know, it's like everybody's coming from all these different ways, and sure, all of these things work for you, you know, but where I was headed with that wasn't actually into that rant. I was just going to say, you're told your whole life, like, oh man, exercise, it just makes you feel better. And, you know, it clears your head and it does all this. It's good for anxiety. And it's something that I've proven to myself over and over and over again. But when you stop doing it, starting back is fucking hard. It's like therapy, you know, like once you're in therapy, you're like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing. I'm so glad I'm doing this. But when it comes time to start again, you know, or a diet, you and I've talked about that several times, you know, like how you get on a roll or whatever. But man, if you take a break, you stop, getting back on it is fucking hard. And that's why you see so many people who like get on keto and lose all the weight and then gain it right back, because man, once you have a delicious piece of bread, you know, you're like, holy shit, that was a delicious piece of bread. And so my thing personally was, I'm going to do these little things that I can do right now without disrupting my whole fucking life. But all of these are, you know, good and healthy, and they work for me, and it's working, you know, and, you know, I'm losing a little bit of weight, and I feel better, as we said. And, you know, it's been awesome. It is fucking great to be locked in a rolling test tube though, and have 3 dudes up and ready to go with you every day, you know? And, so we've talked about Rob on this show so many times, but Rob is a creature of habit. He doesn't like disruptions in his flow. So like that's part of our day now. If we don't go do that, it will derail him. So for whatever reason, whether it's the gym at the hotel, you know, it doesn't have this, or it's too long of a drive, or what, it's only happened a handful of times.
Yeah.
Or this venue doesn't have a shower, so we're going to have to take off today. Or in Boston, guys, you're not going to be able to get back because they're closing the street for this baseball game. You can't go today, you know? So Rob is such a motivator because he's up, and like, it's not if it's just like, hey, when are we going? What's the plan?
How much time do you need to get ready? Because
because we're going to go do this. And it's just been great. And I say it's super motivating. Though you and I haven't talked about it near as much, and I haven't even said this to you, but it's really motivating for me that you to get up and do it, because it would be easy for me to. I think it would be easier for me, and probably not now. I think now I'm in the headspace, but especially the first run when you were getting up and going, I was just like, okay, well, because if it was just Rob and Dave, it's just like, yeah, well, those guys are already kind of in shape. They already kind of do this shit. I'm not saying you're not in shape. I'm just saying, like, Rob,
I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight.
Stop it. He goes to the fucking gym, like he's doing. I mean, he's like gangbusters and shit. You already work out so much when you play. Like, you could easily go, guys, I'm already burning fucking 900 calories every night while behind the drum set, and but you getting up and doing it, and Dave getting up and doing it, and it's just, it makes it a lot easier.
There's a lot of factors at play, right? I mean, I don't know what the right word is for the group mentality of it. It's not peer pressure. Maybe there's a little bit of peer pressure, but that's not it. Camaraderie, maybe. I don't know. There's something to be said about the group doing it together, but also, like you said, the momentum of it. Like, those first few days, I don't want to go. It's like that. It wasn't that I didn't want to go. It's just not what we did. It's a changing in the routine. That's not what we do. I don't want to leave my area, the bus and the venue, and go over there. It wasn't that I didn't want to go to the gym. It's just, it's leaving your comfort zone. It's changing your routine. Those are pressure points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's the motivation to get going. Okay, that's easier. And then you get the benefits of, like, okay, less stress, less anxiety. Feel good about yourself. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of stuff going on with it, and it's awesome. And it's good that we're all doing it together.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but you are so right, because we've gone through this evolution of sort of what we allow ourselves to do each day. The bus pulls up or whatever. We used to be a lot more adventurous, take off, walk in or whatever. But we also used to go to the fucking bar at 3:00 in the afternoon, right when we got into town, and somehow make it work, I mean, and I'm not saying go there and get shit faced, but we would for sure go get a beer at 3 p.m. or whatever, if that's what we were doing, or go, and that we've, there's been a lot of different evolutions. Or it's like, hey, there's this thing over there. There's the largest ball of tinfoil in the world. Let's go see that. And obviously, in the latter, and especially in the last 10 years, it's been more of like, well, no, it's a pain in the ass to leave the bus. It's such a pain in the ass to go do this. It's a pain in the ass to go to, I mean, and even to the point of like, hey, there's a shower room, but it's 10 miles away. You got to get in a car and I don't want to pack up all my shit and get in a car and go all that way and whatever. We had just gotten ourselves into this routine of like, we just wake up and sort of watch TV and then go in the venue, and make a fucking Triscuit sandwich and then fucking go to pee and,
and anxiety is a weird thing. And I'm not saying we got there because of anxiety, but like, once you get to that spot, it kind of causes some anxiety, because then we're in the routine of, hey, I'm going to sit here until we go in the venue. And then it's like, well, I don't want to go there and do anything else because I do this, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of snowballs on itself, because then you're just sitting there and not doing anything, and you're in this stinky, dark bus, the anxiety of that just kind of snowballs. So,
yeah, I mean, anxiety is a big thing, and you've said it a lot, in this conversation, and that's interesting, because that's usually something that I am really in tune with or whatever. And I do need to say that it has helped immensely. I mean, as far as my anxiety goes on tour, it has been, a bare minimum, and really, I had that ulcerative colitis flare up in the first run right at the end. And I will say that obviously my anxiety was through the roof, but that really can be blamed on that, because I didn't know, exactly where that was going to lead, like what was going to happen, but anyway, I mean, it's just been awesome. And so I'm proud of us. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of you. I'm obviously proud of Rob and Dave, and I'm really proud of Dave actually. And when we talk about the anxiety of all this, he has the hardest time with that out of anybody, and especially in those fucking circumstances. Like, we've had times where we've gone to a restaurant and sat down and started to order food, and he's just like, I got to get back to the venue, because his anxiety, he just can't stand it. And he's done such a good job of being like, okay, guys, you're loaded in. Everybody knows what they're going to do. I'm a phone call away.
Yep.
I'm going to get away with the band for 2 hours because I can. And there's no reason you need me. And he's done a really good job of that. And I'm really proud of him, because I really did think he was our wild card. And only because of that, I thought, man, it's going to drive him crazy being away from there, but having the whole band, and obviously Chris isn't with us right now, but, I think having us all there and knowing like, well, and the crew guys will take care of themselves, or there's an assistant tour manager, Wyatt's there.
Yeah.
If they need something, they talk to him. If they need us, they call us or whatever. And I'm really proud of him.
I think I'm proud of him too. I think he's benefited as well from the routine. Like, he is the most anxious person, but having that happen has probably helped a little bit of his anxiety. It's also interesting to point out, though, that Dave and the three of us are getting away from there, leaving the crew at the venue to do their work.
Yeah.
But they finish up while we're gone. And I think they're loving having us not in the bus, not in the dressing room.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting to kind of have their own downtime without us in the way for a while, and they're loving it.
They're loving it. Yeah. Apparently they get together at one point and they all sit in the dressing room and they have a cup of coffee, and so I feel like that there's like this, there's less tension there. I mean, not that we ever have tension anyway, but if there is, like, it seems very loose. It's very zen right now.
It is very zen. I think you're right. Like, I mean, anytime there's work and things not going right, which in what we do, we set up and take down, set up and take down, set up and take down. Yeah. That's just going to cause issues, right? Some days it's not going to work. Some days every day we're using other venues stuff, a different venue stuff. You have to figure out how to make it all work. And so that's just going to cause stress and tension sometimes. So, they're all trying to figure out their own issues and their own problems. And sometimes they get short with each other.
Yeah.
And just us being gone is allowing them an opportunity to hang out and have fun with each other.
Yeah.
And that probably just lowers the temperature whenever they are stressed out, because they're a little bit closer friends or whatever, they're in a better spot.
Yeah. They have the whole dressing room that's got the rider in there. So if they want a sandwich, they can go in there, and they don't, I mean, I'm sure it's weird, like come in. I mean, I guess they're used to it or whatever, but like, I'm sure it's nice, not having your bosses, sitting on the couch miserably hungover, and you just want to go in and make a sandwich, or a bus or whatever, or if you just want to enjoy a nice leather couch for a while, because quite frankly, if we come in and there's not places to sit down, we don't enforce this, but they get up, like when we walk in, they're just like, hey guys, here's the thing, we're going to go do this. And, sometimes they'll hang out with us or whatever, but, I don't know. There's just, it's one of those things where it's just been a really, really good thing. I'm proud of us, and you should be proud of us too. And if you yourself are on some sort of a health journey or whatever, follow along with me on social media. You'll see I'm posted on there a bunch about it, and we'll continue to talk about it here on the Rockstar Dad Show. But until, no, I didn't mean to say, but until. No, we're going to keep doing that, but we are going to take a break. So we'll be back with more Rockstar Dad Show and more of me and Gary right after this. Y'all listen up. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. I posted about this, Gary, but apparently I wasn't clear with what happened. And so I feel like every time I post about like something that happened, not every time, that's belittling. Anyway, I fuck shit up sometimes with social media, and I posted a post about Everett getting hurt on his birthday.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he got hit by a car.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Right? And so Casey just,
I gotta go read your post because you must have just really missed.
no, I took it down because Casey just goes, babe, you either need to edit or take that post down because everybody thinks Everett got hit by a car. And I'm just like, I get like, fuck it. I just take it down, because I'm just like, it's just such a job anyway to like have to post, not have to, but
yeah.
I work really hard on social media. And so like when I fuck something up, it just frustrates the shit out of me. Some typos I leave, some of them I'm just like, fuck. And I just take the whole thing down. But my son's birthday was the same day as your wedding anniversary, by the way.
Yeah.
And 24th. And he got a electric scooter. And man, this thing is fucking serious, dude. It's like, it's a bird bike. Or Lime, whatever. It's like one of those ones, like you get off the street. It's tall and it's fast. And
yeah.
And anyway, he had a great day and he took off ride on this fucking thing. And, he rode around on it for about 20, 30 minutes. And then he comes in, he goes, hey, I'm going to ride over to Henry's house. Well, that's Amy and Derek's house. And it's not close. It's like a mile away. It's not as the crow flies. It's really close, but like, you have to zigging in and out of the streets. If you were to walk there, it's a mile.
It's not across town, but there's not a straight path.
That's correct. Yeah. And so, anyway, he's gone for a little bit and, I'm thinking to myself, man, he wasn't on that very much, but he's got 2 friends on this street that have them and he's been on them. Sure enough, Amy calls and she goes, he's okay. And it's like, oh shit. And, so he had his helmet wasn't on tight enough. So he did bump his head, which sucks. And, skinned his shoulder really bad, ripped his brand new Slipknot shirt that he got for his birthday that morning.
Now the Slipknot shirt looks cooler.
Well, that's what I said, but he got pissed and threw it away.
Okay.
Scratched his wrist, scratched his back, whatever. And so, anyway, I posted about it and I just go, it was just a picture of him in the emergency room. Well, I'll fast forward. So he comes home and we're of course, worried a little bit about the head injury. And he's not nauseous and he's not dizzy. And we're like, we'll put some ice on it. It wasn't going inward, all of the things. And so we, took care of all of the wounds. And Amy had dressed his shoulder wound because it's the worst one. And so we were supposed to go eat with Emma and her boyfriend. And at first he doesn't want to. We ended up doing that. So we went to Hibachi. Which is, have you noticed that that's what people do on their birthdays? Like when you're at Hibachi, do you notice how many times they sing the birthday song?
Bro, that's what we have done for Anik's birthday for the past 15 years. And that's not like because I'm going, oh, we're going to Hibachi for your birthday. It's because Benihana has like the best birthday certificate, whatever cheap thing, and how my wife loves deals.
Yeah.
So we've gone to Benihana for 15 years for her birthday, and every single one of those years, the table that we sit at, the other end of the table is there for someone's birthday.
Yeah, totally. Well, so I think this is rampant though. Like it's you get the free piece of cheesecake and they beat this drum and sing to you. And so we had the hibachi. So as we're leaving there, Everett says a couple of things that are a little bit weird. And he's sort of like it. And of course, Casey has been worried about his head the whole time. So we're like, fuck it, man. We've got these great emergency room, doc in the box thing. And it's like, if you go to this one called Legacy, you don't have to pay emergency room prices until they have to do emergency room shit. Right. So at first it's just like a office, whatever you call it, like if you were to go to CV Minute Clinic or something. And then, but once they have to like do a CAT scan or some shit, then you're like, hey, you've just switched into emergency room pricing, and they come in and tell you, which is fine. I mean, at the end of the day, you just want to make sure everybody's all right. So he's sitting there and he's got his head all dressed and everything's fine, but they're like, yeah, he's probably a little bit concussed based upon what you're saying. And anyway, I take a picture of him and I just go, happy birthday. To say the electric scooter was a hit would be, I guess you could say the electric scooter was a hit, literally. And people took that as he got hit by a car. And I'm like, I read it 4 times after Casey brought it to my attention, just going, what? I didn't say that. I just said he fucking, that it was a hit. Anyway, he did not get hit by a car. He fell off that fucking thing on his birthday and he fucked himself up good.
That is quite the jump to conclusion.
Right.
Like that's quite the game of telephone, except for it's like a 2-person player game. I'm going to read this and like, holy crap. Yeah. But holy crap, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, me too. You're no stranger to the emergency room.
Oh man, they know us by first name when we get there.
Every time we go out of town, your wife is taking your son there for something else.
Yeah. And this time that we were out, no one went to the emergency room. There were injuries. But no one had to go to the emergency room.
Yeah. I did hear you discussing an injury.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what fucking now?
Yeah.
Poor kid.
It was kind of badass. He was playing football and his team was punting and the other team blocked it. And so like there's this loose ball rolling around and he jumped on top of it. But whenever he jumped on top of it, who knows what all the craziness was. So his whole entire like forearm was just torn up like I don't know if it's turf burn or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But it was the whole freaking thing. It was pretty bad. But he was fine. Has Everett jumped back on the scooter?
Well, no, because it's a minor concussion. So it was like a few days away from screens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this was just a couple of days ago. And so few days away from screens and obviously no activity. He got a week out of athletics at school. And so he can't jump back on there now, but he did learn, like I think he was just kind of wearing the helmet as like a, if I have this on, everybody will leave me alone.
Check that box. I've got it on top of my head.
Yeah. And he definitely is aware now of like, he just keeps telling people, I had my helmet on too loose. He goes, but I'm glad I had it on because he rolled over obviously onto his back. And he said that the back of his head did hit the ground. And so, whatever that impact of that first thing, luckily, he's all right. But, had he not had one on, who knows where we'd be right now, so. It's scary shit, man, but I, again, I was just like, man, why did I, you kind of look back on it and it's just like, why did I not tell him like, hey man, I don't know. That seems pretty far. Like, let's ride it around just right here in front of the house for a couple of days, and get the maneuver. But apparently he tried to avoid a speed bump because he was unaware that the scooter will go right over a speed bump. And so he tried to avoid it. And, you turn too quick on something like that has, 2 wheels and they're that close together. It's just essentially you're fucked. And so he went down pretty good. Oof. And, I don't know. He's fine, though. He had a great birthday. And, it always sucks when your kid gets hurt. But I will say, I just want to let everybody know he did not get hit by a car.
I'm glad he didn't get hit by a car. I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
2 days off from screen's got to be hard for a kid that age. Do you think he's wanting to, like, is he showing interest in, like, I want to get back on the scooter whenever the concussion thing's over? You think he's over the scooter?
I think he'll get back on it. It's funny because he had this exact same experience when he got his first little motorized scooter back when he was little. And it was Christmas and Jack took him out in the front and he went to ride it and he fell off of it. And he never touched that thing again, just like a little razor thing.
Yeah.
Literally never touched it again. And so I was adamant this time about just keeping on mentioning, okay, so next time when you get on there, you're going to be fine, and you do this, you do this, you do this. So I think he'll get back on it. I mean, they're super popular, like all the kids around here have them. And we waited to get him one just simply because it's such good exercise when he rides his just regular scooter, and he will just ride that thing around everywhere and shit.
Yeah.
But he's getting his exercise other places now. And again, it's a really cool thing because he can go over. His grandma lives across the street from Amy Henry's house. And so, that's a place where he can go, and, he just has to abide by the street rules and not, he has to stop hitting the ground with his face.
Yeah.
We're wanting.
Yeah. You want to land feet down.
Yeah. Just, because the neighborhood spends a lot fixing these potholes and we can't just keep just banging our face against the ground. That's just not a good thing to do. I saw that Mia was dressed up for dance recently. Did you guys have a dance thing?
Man, I don't think she had a dance thing recently. She's in dance right now, but she hadn't had a recital or anything. But
maybe she was just princessing or something.
She does that. Now they had a dot day at school recently, which is like a polka dot thing.
Okay.
And so she had to wear a polka dot dress.
Right.
And she was very excited about that. And yesterday I took her to reading night at the school, and she showed me all of her artwork. She had made some polka dot artwork for dot day.
Nice.
At this reading night thing, not a whole lot of reading was going on at it. There's a bunch of booths set up, and they had this paper, and if you go to all the booths, they had a picture, and you could draw your picture of their picture onto your thing, and you had to go to all the booths and draw pictures on all these things. And if you went to every booth and did that, you got a prize. Okay. Not a whole lot of reading, a lot of picture drawing. She loved it.
Weird. Yeah, I figured it was going to be just like a big book fair or something. They were trying to sell you some shit.
Oh no, they have 2 or 3 of those a year.
Yeah,
this was not quite that.
You know what you do? You get the grandparents to take them. That way they get more shit. And
yeah,
just Jack used to take his book fair money, and every single time he wouldn't buy a book. He would just buy, they sell a lot of other shit,
oh yeah,
they'll be light up yo-yos and shit like that. And he would just come home with a bag full of just random stocking stuffers.
Mia wants me to take her to the book fair, because Anik will take her and be like, pick 2 things. And, right. She'll pick whatever she picks. And she's like, you don't want this notebook and whatever this other book is. And she's like, I can get that exact same thing for $2 at Target, and it's $13 there or whatever. And whenever I take her, I'm like, yeah, what you want? Great. Let's get that too. Okay. Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Sure. Let's get the $9 pencil.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. That all 3 kids, would rather me take them to things like that because I'm pretty easy. You can do the thing where I'm already paying, and you start asking me for shit. I'm just trying not to hold up the line. So I'm just yeah, whatever. Give it to me. Hurry. Just give me the goddamn things here. This too, please. It's like that at the store too. Just, I think there's a timing where once I start the transaction, I'm an anxious motherfucker. I want to hold up the line.
I get you on the holding up the line. For me at the book fair thing, with Tyler, it was yeah, get that book. Yeah, get that book. Yeah, get that. Can I get this sword? No, we're not. How much money do you have? You want to buy that with your money? But with Mia, she's like, I don't want any books, but can I get all this other bullshit? I'm like, oh yeah, you can have anything you want, baby girl.
Anything you want, honey. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%, man. I'm glad we're back. Dude, and I hope you're enjoying your time at home. I am. Guys, give it up for producer Jack, who's been keeping this thing going while we've been gone. We will be back next week with another new episode, and then we'll be on tour. So who the fuck knows? But
good intentions.
We do, man. The world was built on good. I don't know how that saying goes, but this is the Rockstar Dad Show. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you next time. Y'all be good.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know, some rockstar dads who started a show. Until the next episode.